This is The Archive. And yes, welcome back to the second hour of The Archive, the show where we dive deep into K-pop and K-content with in-depth analysis, unique stories, hidden meanings, and fresh insight, all from our very own library studio. In our second hour, it is time for a weekly segment, The K-Screen, where we dive into popular K-dramas, movies, and variety shows. And like we have mentioned throughout the program, we'll be featuring an iconic film, drama, or a variety show with our very own AJohn joining us in the studio. For those who want to tune in, we recommend listening to our online stream at arirang.com/radio. And if you would like to watch the visual radio, please check out our official YouTube channel, Arirang Radio K-pop. Most importantly, we have an Instagram account at thearchive_8F where we post highlight clips of our show. You can send us DMs if you have a message you'd like read on air or any song request. Plus, on top of that, we have a link tree in our Instagram bio where you can find the Google Forms link for a weekly Wednesday segment, The Anonymous, that is coming up tomorrow. This is where you can share your stories, your worries, and concerns with us anonymously. We'll read them out on air and give our 2 cents. Also, before we move on, I want to tell you about our weekend segment. On Saturday, we have the word chain coming up as a fun listener game where we build a playlist using words from our Excel sheet linked to our Instagram bio. Our Monday's guest, Shiyun, kicked things off with the first song, which you can check on our Instagram account right now. And on Sunday, we also have the mood board coming up where listeners send in the song request and stories inspired by a keyword or an image posted on our Instagram using the link in our bio. The deadlines for the word chain is at 6 p.m. every Thursday and the mood board is at 6 p.m. every Friday. So please get those submissions coming in before it is too late. Again, at our Instagram account at thearchive_8F. Last week we talked about Infinite Challenge, and this week we have another incredible show coming up your way. And as we invite AJohn into the studio, this song could be a little bit of a hint for all of you. So I hope you guess it right. Here goes BTS with the song Run. Korean content, whether it's K-movies, K-dramas, or K-variety shows, has grown in ways no one could have ever imagined over the past few years. While many people enjoy this content, not everyone takes the time to fully appreciate its deeper cinematic details. And to help us break down some of Korea's most popular K-content, we have our very own AJohn joining us in the studio.
Hello. Happy Global Recycling Day?
Yes. Happy Global Recycling Day. By the way, guys, Arirang does a fascinating job in recycling, right?
We do a very interesting job.
We do, really do. I mean, there's like a whole different categories of recycling bins here in the building.
And we have a lot of cleaners who take part of all the, they recycle all the paper as well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think Arirang does a pretty good job of recycling. So, good job us.
And I think we're also doing a decent job using our very own tumblers, right? You also have your own mug cup.
That's
on
true.
Your right.
Yes, I do have my mug cup. But I do want to say that I think it would be appropriate to eat chicken with your hands to celebrate World Global Day. Because
Hey, that is actually true.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. But you should also save water.
That's true.
And you get all the greases all over your fingers.
Just lick your fingers. I'm sorry.
See, I hate, you know how they go like finger licking good?
Right.
I hate that phrase.
Because you don't want to lick your fingers, right?
I don't. I just want to go wash my fingers.
But I do think washing your hands is probably better for the environment than using single-use plastic.
That's true. Or maybe I should carry around my very own, those metal forks and stuff like that.
Or you can just eat with your hands like a normal person.
I don't know. Our teamwork is already falling apart. We had a chicken last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he was like, you really don't like to get your hands messy, don't you? So I was like, yep.
Even today, do you want to talk about what you ate for breakfast today?
What did I have for breakfast today?
I
had a burger.
You had a burger meal. And you only decided to eat 2 fries. Well, I want to say chips. You only decided to eat 2 chips because you didn't want to get your hands dirty.
Here's the thing, okay? So I
That's
was
illegal.
in my car. It was a drive-through, okay?
Right.
So I was eating my burgers, obviously, with the wrap. And with the fries, I didn't want to pick it myself. So I just held up the carton and I just bit it off.
Okay.
You get it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
it, right? Because I'm driving. You don't want to get the whole handles
that's
greasy
true.
and all.
You shouldn't be eating from the first place while you're
That's
driving.
actually true. That's actually very... I wasn't eating while driving.
Right.
I was parked at the station down there.
Right.
But still, it's just... I don't like that for some reason.
Well, just you can shake the carton into your mouth, or you can just use your fingers and just wash it.
Should we jump straight into our corner?
Yes, but that is not what we're going to talk about today. We are talking about
This is going to be a huge debate later.
Yes.
But we'll figure it out. But for now, we have a very interesting content prepared for our listeners, right?
So yes, today we have a very interesting reality TV show, and some would even say it's one of the most longest running reality TV show, and it is still running till this day. It was first premiered in July 11, 2010, and this time it's not by NBC, it's by SBS.
Okay.
So we have a little few hints, and I want to give another hint. And currently there are 8 main members in the show, but that might confuse some people because there were recently new members that joined the show. It has a massive, I would say, a massive international fan base. Some would even say it's bigger overseas than in Korea.
Oh, I think I'm kind of getting the idea.
Right, and at its peak, it received 28% local viewership rating, which was in 2013, during the golden era. So a lot of people probably guessed, and I do want to say it wasn't really a hint. The song wasn't necessarily a hint.
Yeah,
I'll say
the song we just played was run by BTS, obviously.
Right,
I'm
I'll
so
say
sorry
at that
for
point it was
spoiling
just an answer.
So do you want to reveal the answer for us, John?
It is obviously the one and only Running Man.
Running Man, it is a show that we are going to be talking about today.
Yes, it is my favorite reality TV show. But just in case some people might not be very familiar with it, so initially Running Man, the show was focused on the survival style urban action variety concept where cast members and guests had to complete missions to avoid elimination. But over time, it evolved into a more comedic game-based variety program with fun challenges and creative themes and unexpected betrayals. And the most famous, obviously, aspect of the show is the name tag elimination, 이름표 떼기 game where, participants engage in a chase mission to remove each other's name tags. But however, this game isn't really played often these days. I believe the last time it was played was in 2023. And a lot of people say it's because the main cast members are getting a little bit older. So doing these, challenges where they are forced to run for several hours is probably not that easy for some of the members.
I mean, if you think about it, chase was actually extreme. It's not like, come catch me or chase after me. It's just like hunting down others.
Exactly.
And it requires heavy stamina. And same for Yoo Jae-suk. I heard like Yoo Jae-suk actually wanted to go work out every morning because of this program.
Right.
Because he was kind of getting out of shape. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to keep up with this whole thing, right?
And the funny thing is, even though it's a reality TV show, a lot of it is unscripted. And the thing is, they're very physical. If you see some of the older episodes, when they're playing this game, you see them not rip the name tag off, but rip their whole jacket off as well, like the back of their t-shirts and the jacket. So you can see that they were very physically intense, especially when they had male guests that we're going to get into a bit later. But you probably don't know much about it.
I don't.
To throw you under the bus,
right?
You did not watch a lot of Running Man.
I did watch in the very early phase when it was Saturdays were 무한도전 Infinite Challenge. Was it Sunday running?
It was Sunday, I believe.
Right. So on Sunday I would watch, but later on I just kind of grew out of it.
Right.
I don't know why.
Right.
I lost interest. So I stopped watching from this one point. But the earlier phase, I think I did watch.
Right.
But I'm not a big of a fan as you, I think.
Right, but it is very popular overseas. Siska just said that, yay, Running Man, my favorite. I met all the cast except Yoo Jae-suk and Kangiri because they both didn't join the fan meeting in Jakarta. But
so they had a fan meet in Jakarta.
they went overseas a
No
lot.
way.
I remember there was an episode where all the members went overseas and the airport was just bombarded with fans.
Really?
So yeah, it's very popular overseas. I loved it a lot. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners loved growing up with a lot of the members. And unlike a lot of variety shows, I would say, the main cast members are still to this day in the team. So if you think about
they?
1박 2일, 2 Day, 1 Night, if you think about Infinite Challenge, a lot of the main cast members have kind of changed over time.
Right.
What we think of the golden era, the members kind of changed. But with Running Man, the main cast members are still there. Well, some might say it's not in the golden stage anymore because we're going to get into some of the members that kind of left. But to this day, majority of them are still part of the team. So, yeah, it is still one of those reality TV shows where for years and years, the team have just kind of bonded. And like every other reality TV show, this group has also become more of a family than anything else, which is why you see a lot of the kind of the interaction with the cast members being very honest, as if they're like, you see siblings kind of fighting. It's very, you can tell that they're just really close.
They are indeed one big family, you would say.
Yeah, I would.
And the chemistry is incredible. When you think about this program, Running Man, some of the faces might pop up, right?
Right.
For me, this man is probably the first in line.
Ooh,
It's got to be Kim Jong-kook.
right.
Because he's like the lion character. He's
Is
like
he
he's like the Spartan
Yes.
warrior, isn't he?
Yes.
But the fun fact is his voice is totally different from his
right.
appearance.
Exactly.
'Cause he's got the one of the most, he's in such a good shape, and he looks so charismatic. He's so manly, but his voice is one of the softest falsetto voices in the
It
market.
is. And it's interesting because while I was putting the songs into our database that you guys can find the playlist on our YouTube, arirang.com, but basically he has so many songs about the word sarang, about love.
Right.
So he's a very soft guy. He's very gentle. A lot of people who have met him personally say he's such a sweet person, but he is so buff. And if
So
you see
buff.
him like work out, it is incredibly
I
scary.
know he
at
has his own
times.
like YT channel, doesn't he? Working out
Exactly.
channel. So I mean, I think that's his charm. People would expect something else, referring to his voice, but
Right.
when you listen to it, you're like, is this actually Kim Jong-kook's voice?
Exactly.
And then you fall in love deeper and deeper
Right.
and deeper. And all this began with this one lovely track. I gotta play it out, guys. Coming from Kim Jong-kook, here goes 사랑스러워, Lovable. And yes, everybody, that was Kim Jong-kook with the song 사랑스러워, Lovable. Truly a lovable song, isn't it?
It's a great song, and I think a lot of people love it. We have Mez saying that me dancing in the living room, making Bob annoyed, music out loud. Definitely, it's one of those iconic songs that you think of when you think of Kim Jong-un.
Exactly. He has this cute choreography where he's
Yeah.
like twisting his shoulders or something.
And he does it really well until this day.
Exactly. And one thing, guys, he's a great English speaker. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
He's a great English speaker.
I think I've seen some of his videos talking English. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was raised abroad, but I did see some videos and he sounds different in English. It looks very cool. So I fell in love the third time with Kim Jong-kook. I love that guy.
Man with many talents. I think you see him like what he does in a daily life, and yeah, he definitely needs more sleep because he works out a lot. He does a lot of things. He keeps his education studies up as well, and does all these other shows. So amazing guy.
Exactly. And if I may, John, can I
Yes.
just kind of get off the charts for a second?
Yep.
I need to defend myself because our listeners are all saying disappointing to Yohan not using his fingers when eating food.
Right.
I have to make some explanation, guys. I do eat pizza with my hands, and when I'm at home, I do eat with my fingers when I can wash it off right away.
Okay.
But when I'm outside, I try not to get greasy stuff
Fun
on my
fact:
fingers.
you can wash your hands at Arirang.
I know, but I had to carry my bags. Okay, never mind then. Moving on.
Fun fact:
I tried, guys. I
we
tried.
do have a bathroom here.
I'm not that spoiled, okay?
I feel like you're
Darn
gonna
it,
do yourself
AJohn.
justice, but okay.
Okay. So again, you're joining us for the K-Screen, our Tuesday segment, second hour corner, and today we're diving deep into the program, which is
About director and cast, but obviously Running Man, yes, but obviously director and cast is a very important part
Right.
of every variety show. And while the director has or the PD has changed over time, the cast member, like I mentioned before, it hasn't. And if we think about the main cast members right now, it is currently Yoo Jae-seok, who is the main MC, Ji Seok-jin, Kim Jong-kook, Ha Dong-hun, which is Haha, Song Ji-ho, Yang Se-chan, and Ji Ye-eun and Kang Hun.
So right now we're showing the photo. These two members right here are not in the team,
Yes.
right? That is, I believe, Kwang-soo and Chun So-min.
Yes. So when you look at this photo, a lot of people will think this is the golden peak of cast member wise, the golden peak of Running Man.
Okay.
The reason is because Kwang-soo is still here. Lee Kwang-soo is known to be one of the funniest guy who kind of was the mischievous. He would have no bias. He would start fights with female guest members. He would like pull hairs of like Jio, and also like get into real actual fights with a lot of the cast members. And yeah, Chun So-min's also in here, and Chun So-min kind of played this role of being the female version of Lee Kwang-soo, basically. So she
Interesting.
played a lot of the mischievous, funny, kind of at times ruining her reputation as a female actor because she was so funny and daring to do anything.
Lovable at the same time.
Lovable at the same time. So, and she was kind of the youngest member of the group at the time, so a lot of people loved her. But if we go through some of the members one by one, Yu Jae-seok, he's the main MC in Korea, right? And he does a great balancing of that everybody gets a bit of screen time,
Right.
and also he can move from segments to segments really naturally and really funny guy. And we have Ji Seok-jin. He's like the oldest. He's kind of like the father role of the group. While he is the weakest member, he still has a bit of that older humor with that gunde kind of vibes.
Okay.
And there's a running joke that we're going to get into a little bit later, but he plays a really good role as being the oldest member. And we have Kim Jong-guk, he's the commander, he's the strong man of the group. You see him do any challenges, he's going to be the guy that you need on your team to kind
Sparta.
of do anything, like to win any challenge. And we have Haha. We have Haha, who's kind of like the prankster of the group. He's also kind of seen as like Kim Jong-guk's like kind of like younger brother sidekick
Like
kind
Robin.
of character. Exactly. And we see Haha doing a lot of funny gigs. And also because he's so close with Kim Jong-un, you see them kind of battle it out a lot. And also Ha's kind of known to backstab a lot of people's back.
Oh, is he?
So he's really known to kind of like make people trust him, and then he'll betray them at the end.
I had never known.
Yeah. And then we have Chio. So Chio, for the longest time before Chun So-min came onto the show, Chio was the only female main cast member.
Yeah.
So, but also she was known to be called the Ace.
Oh, yo, I do remember an episode because that's when I was watching the show. They were playing like hide and seek, and Song
Right.
Chio was on top of this like mattress pile, and
Right.
she actually fell asleep.
Yeah.
So no one knew where she is, but she was actually sleeping, taking a nap.
That's very funny because she does also have a nickname where she just can sleep anywhere.
Oh,
So
does she?
while they're like going from place A to place B on like a bus, she would be the member that just kind of falls asleep. She would also sleep a lot. But because she is the only female member of the group, everyone kind of teases her a little bit, and a lot of the other members who are a little bit younger, like Haha or Lee Kwang-soo at the time, would always make fun of her, kind of like an older sister.
I
And
see,
because
I see.
they've been doing this for years, you do see their like younger brother, older sister kind of role, and there are like famous clips of Lee Kwang-soo literally grabbing the hair of Song Chio, and literally getting into a fight, and you see her like literally fighting back, like kicking him and punching him. And it is extremely funny.
I think this is the clip that you're talking about, huh?
Exactly.
Isn't it?
This is the exact clip where you see her grabbing the hair of Lee Kwang-soo, and you see them like purely fight.
This is hilarious. I mean, it's actually like a sibling literally fighting in the bedroom, right?
Exactly.
Very cute.
And yeah, exactly. And at the time, right now, the other members will be Yang Se-chan, who kind of joined the group in 2017. So he's been also on the team for quite a while. But he's also seen kind of as the newer member. He joined when Chun So-min also joined at that kind of same era.
Okay.
And then most recently, Ji-eun and Kang-hoon also joined the team. They are known to be, they were kind of, from what I know, they were like kind of like one-off guests, and then a lot of people loved them, so they just kind of became like kind of like a main member of the group most recently.
Interesting.
But if we think about the past members, we do think of Chun So-min, we do think of Lee Kwang-soo, but there's also Kerry, who was one of the members that stayed on for a very long time,
I
but
loved
left
Kerry.
in 2016.
I loved Getty.
Kerry was actually my favorite character
Was he?
person on the cast.
I mean,
for a
it's
long
just
time.
like he's just like Kir from Blandojan.
Right.
Meaning he's got the charismatic discography. He was the rapper, the rapping duo, Lee Sang. But then you suddenly see him on the show with a totally different personality.
Exactly.
And that boosted the charm for the group, I would say.
And also, Kerry is very underrated in the sense that he's very athletic.
Oh,
so
he
you
is,
see
he
him
is.
at times going one-on-one against Kim Jong-guk, and he puts on a big fight. And you think about Lee Kwang-soo, he's a tall man, he's a
He's
model.
super tall,
He's
isn't
super
he?
tall. He's actually, he has long arms, so in a lot of these games, he actually has a big advantage. But Kerry does a really good job at keeping a fight, even at times coming up in the upper hand. So Kerry was very much beloved. And then in the very, very, very early phases, I would be surprised if any of our listeners actually know, but Song Joong-ki and Lizzie
I
was
remember
also
that.
part of the team.
Ooh, Song Joong-ki, the actor, and Lee Ji. Oh my goodness, from After School, if I'm correct.
Exactly, yeah. She was part of After School.
Wow.
She joined in episode 18, but she left in episode 26, so 2011, because of her busy idol schedule. But she was technically originally one of the main cast members at the very beginning of the show. And like I said, they've been doing this program for years. They have a very family-like relationship, so a lot of people love it. And also, they get some of the biggest guests to come on the show.
Right, let's talk about that. What kind of special guests?
So if you're any of the top major celebrity or idol group or anybody in Korea, you are wanting to be on the show. In 2013, when they received the most highest viewership rating, the 28%, Park Ji-sung's was on the episode. It was actually second. It was like a series. They had 2 episodes, and it was Park Ji-sung who came on the show.
The national football star Park Ji-sung,
Exactly.
who spent his heydays at Manchester United FC. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness. Okay.
It was at 2013 was at its peak, right?
Wow.
And also, it was right after a big soccer event in Korea, so it just boosted the viewership rating. And if we think about some of the other big guests, we had BTS, the
BTS
legends
on the
themselves, on the show. We also had Blackpink on the show as well, and we also had Big Bang.
Big Bang
whole
was on the
members
show.
on the show as well.
What
So-
are they wearing? Is that Spartan warrior kind
Yeah,
of?
they had an episode where they
Oh, that is
dressed up
Kim
as-
Jong-kook
Yeah,
in the middle.
exactly.
Oh wow.
So because sometimes the number of group members might not be even, so they would get the main members, and at this time it was Kim Jong-kook to be on their side, and a lot of other major actors like Park Bo-gum, Kong Yoo, and Song Joong-ki was on the show. Song Joong-ki, even though he left as a main
Regular?
member, he came back as a
As a
guest.
guest. Oh,
And it was really fun
It's a
to
homecoming,
see him,
right?
homecoming, that return. And we also had
Interesting.
international celebrities come on the show, such as Tom Cruise,
Tom Cruise
the
was on the
legend
show,
himself,
right?
coming for Mission Impossible themed episodes. And we had Ryan Reynolds come on the show as
Right.
well. And we also had Jackie Chan. the
Jackie
legend
Chan was on the
himself as
show.
well.
Whoa. So you can tell by this whole cast that this was a super show, wasn't it?
It was a
It was
super
the
mega
Sunday
show.
show. And it still is, isn't it?
It still is for many people. My dad still watches it till this day. Running Man every Sunday.
Exactly. I mean, we are naming out a few of these starring guests, but there are so many more.
There are so
And the
many more.
legend is still ongoing, isn't it? And now that you mentioned Kerry's name, saying
Right.
that he was the man to go against Kim Jong-kook, the Spartan warrior,
Right.
I think this is a proper time to play out one of his serious songs. I really adore this song, and I'm sure you guys will too. Coming from Kerry featuring Miwoo, here goes 바람이나 좀 쐬, Get Some Air. Yes, that was 바람이나 좀 쐬, Get Some Air by Kerry featuring Miwoo. You're joining us at the archive for our Tuesday second hour corner, K Screen, talking about the legendary show Running Man. Incredible song, isn't it?
Incredible song, yes.
Some comments coming up from our listeners. Do you want to check some?
So Yana said that I really love episodes they did in the theme park. I feel like I want to do tag ripping at theme park at the night too. Must be so fun.
It must be. But I was always wondering, I mean, if you look at the final product, the final edit, it just seems so dynamic and fun, right?
Right.
But imagine being the camera crew
That's what I thought as well, right?
of the team.
You have to run around with this heavy camera on your
Exactly,
shoulder.
and these cameras are huge.
And the thing is, these cast members, they don't they don't jog lightly waiting for you.
Right,
They
right.
sprint up ahead. And there are times where the cameraman often loses the cast member. So you just see them wandering around trying to find their cast members again.
And that adds to the charm of the show too, I would
It
say,
does.
right? This show, it carries so much humor, so much action, so much story. Like one of our listeners were mentioning 가족 싸움. It's like a
Right.
family members fighting. Like it had that kind of very, I don't know, person-to-person realistic kind of vibe.
Right.
It was as if you're literally watching a family just playing tag
Exactly,
together,
yeah.
right? But despite all that, I think music also played a huge role in adding to the whole fun of it.
Right. That's true. The music was there's iconic musics that we listen now. We obviously can't play these musics on our laptop, but there are iconic soundtracks and music that we can play that reminds you of a specific scene in Running Man.
So you're mentioning that each of the members had their own kind of a theme.
Exactly.
BGM theme.
Exactly.
Oh, just like a movie, if you think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are quite a few that we can talk about. But if we talk about some, there's a song called Sting by Saint Agnes at the Burning Train, which is a very iconic track when Lee Kwang-soo did something silly. And the thing is, if I say the name, obviously Sting, people are like, which song is that? But if you hear it, everybody knows.
What is it?
I can't sing it
Why?
because I don't know who. I'm very bad at singing, but
Can you give it a try? I know you're blushing, but can you give it a try?
I think I don't know if it's this one, but it's that.
Well, how does it go?
I don't remember.
Really?
It's at the tip of my tongue because I think I have another song that's in mind at the moment.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
And oftentimes when these like situations, especially if they have like female girl groups come on the show, they have these like kind of like they do language kind of love vibe between the cast members and some of the female guests.
Okay.
And they have the very iconic gay concert, which is a different a TV show, and they have the OST from that, which goes that do 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 that as well, and they use it so often.
Great job, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a major debut for you as a singing artist.
That was my first ever time. Now I can't say I'm a singer-songwriter.
I guess you can, but you're mentioning the song, I believe that's Ode to My Family by the Cranberries.
Right.
So whenever there's a romantic vibe going on, you're saying, that plays out as a theme.
Right.
Oh, that's cute.
I think you did a lot better job at singing than I did. But yeah, and it was often used when we saw Song Ji-ho and Kerry. They had like a love line.
I remember that.
They had a love line.
I remember that now.
Right.
Ooh.
They had like a love line growing up.
Right.
And this song was used so often.
Oh, wow. The nostalgia.
Exactly. The
Major
nostalgia.
throwback, I would say.
And there's also a time when they often use the Spartan kind of like soundtrack when Kim Jong-kook would like just come out of the corners or something. There's that specific dark Sparta soundtrack that they use. And they often also use this Angry Bird OST. They also use Indiana Jones music when there was during these journeys, and also like Mission Impossible songs. They use a lot of other songs to a point. If you think about it, there's a whole Wikipedia page on the OSTs that Running Man, that was featured in Running Man often. And if you search on social media and these YouTube and these music platforms, you can find playlist after playlist of just the regular OSTs that the reality TV show used.
Really?
Yeah.
I also did some research. If you type in Running Man OST or BGMs, there are so many YouTube playlists too available, playing out all the original songs for the background music they use on the show.
Right.
And these kind of, I don't know, these kind of factors, those musical aspects really plays around your psychology.
Right.
Because while you're watching it, you don't really notice it, but in your subconscious mind, this thing is playing, drawing out the context of the story in the episodes, right? So I don't know, guys. If you haven't checked it out, make sure to go check out Running Man OST. You'll find plenty of incredible original songs that deserve so much more, I would say. Also, a quick mention for this one specific project they did called 런닝구 9주년 팬미팅. That was Running Man 9th year fan meet.
So it was a fan meeting, and it was kind of similar to, at the time, I guess, a lot of other variety shows that had like a little bit of music. Variety shows were also popular at the time. So they did this with, and they released a bit of songs, I believe. And it makes sense, because if you think about it, like Kim Jong-kook, he's a natural singer.
Right.
Yoo Jae-suk also is really good at singing.
Right. He's released more original songs than me.
Yeah.
They all made it to the charts.
Exactly.
He's a superstar artist, I would say.
You wouldn't think of Yoo Jae-suk as being a singer, but technically he has a lot of songs. He's a really good singer. He's been on a lot of shows singing. Haha's also a really good singer as well. So yeah, it just kind of made sense.
Exactly. So during this 런닝구 project, they had like a collaborative album, making like duo projects, trio projects. There's a song where all the members participate together. That album is also incredible. So go ahead, check it out. But for now, I'm going to play out a song that kind of goes with the cast member, which is Ji Seok-jin, because he's a Big Brother character and he is quite funny, right?
He is.
And whenever he does something awkward, this song plays out in the back, and I was always like, wow, great song choice. Here goes Park Jin-young JYP with the song 네가 사는 그 집, The House You Lived In. And yes, everybody, that was 네가 사는 그 집, The House You Lived In by JYP. The BGM that was used for 지석진.
Right, exactly,
Right?
yes.
I mean, that intro is so iconic. And then that's when 지석진 comes in and like it's so awkward.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know who puts in these kind of songs, but it seems like a very interesting job for me.
And it's so intentional because now every time I hear that song, or even that melody at the start, I'm not going to repeat it because I'm horrible at singing, but that melody just reminds me of scenes when Jiseokjin is on camera. So amazing job done by the producers and, people that work on the show, especially the music cast members. But if we think about specific clips and popular lines, there are so many that we can think of, or I can think of.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
So let's talk about some popular lines that actually appear on the show often.
Okay, popular lines.
And I kind of want to start with kind of the most kind of iconic that used to be back in the days, which was about Jiseokjin actually.
Okay.
So Jiseokjin, well, because he's a bit older, when he plays his physical games, he was known to kind of be eliminated first.
Oh, and obviously, he's a 큰형님, the big bro.
He's a 큰형. And there was a running joke where basically under several episodes, under his name tag, it would say game start.
What does it mean?
And
game
basically, the game doesn't start until he's eliminated because he's always eliminated all the time for like the first one to get eliminated. So the cast members put a name tag or under it said game start.
So you begin by ripping off his name tag.
Exactly.
That's when the game actually begins.
But the thing was, it was unscripted, so nobody knew if he would actually go out first. But in the episode as well, he did get eliminated first.
That is hilarious.
Just
I kind of feel bad for him.
It's just a running joke that was so popular.
So by the time he gets ripped off the tag, that's when you'll hear
exactly.
So
Such an iconic line,
man.
yeah.
Any other interesting lines that comes to mind?
So we talked about how, they are so close with their members, and we also talked about how aggressive they can become, right? So there's an iconic line called 살려주세요, Save Me by Lee Kwang-soo. And he literally screams like 살려주세요.
I recall that. I recall that. He always goes 살려주세요.
And it's because there are times when they're so physical, like Kim Jong-un is like on top of him, and he's screaming this out as if he's actually like getting hurt. And after it ends, he always goes to like, the VJs, like the camera directors, and he complains like, why didn't you help me? And it was just his iconic line of just screaming, save me.
살려주세요 by 이광수.
Yeah.
It should be a song.
Exactly. And we talked about how they're so close and they're so like personally close to a point where it's like family, right? So even though it's not really a catchphrase, they would use the word yeah, like hey.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all the time.
Like this, huh?
Exactly. And this was often said by Song Ji-hyo and Kim Jong-kook.
Oh, this is Kim Jong-kook again saying yeah.
Exactly. And he would always say this to the mischievous, the two Lee Kwang-soo and Haha all the time. And even in the picture that you just showed there, he was saying it to Haha, and they're just always the mischievous ones. And they would always say this. And technically, if you think about it's like TV, and yas are very informal. Some could even say it's rude.
Right.
But you see that because
You're so close, exactly.
And it's so off camera that it's just so funny for a lot of the people watching.
I mean, you gotta be real close to the person to call them yeah.
Exactly, right?
I mean, like, even you, I don't think I ever called you yeah yet.
No, I would. Oh,
it's probably
because
we speak in English, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And also, even in any situation, I don't think you would say yeah. Like, you would have to be really, really like grow up with each other to be able to say that.
Exactly. And our listener Yana says, Chiho's yeah is so mother-like.
Exactly, right? And she says it to Lee Kwang-soo and Haha, like as if it's like the younger brother, younger kids. So it's always so funny. Another line that we can think of is now that we talked about Song Ji-hyo, she would always say, 이 오빠 왜 이래? Why is this oppa acting like this? And it's this line that she would always say towards like Yoo Jae-seok, because Yoo Jae-seok being one of the older members, they would also tease her a lot. Being the only female member, they would always tease her. And because technically she is younger, so she has called him oppa.
Right.
But they would also just act clumsy and tease her a lot. So it was always funny to hear that from her. And lastly, we can also hear Chun So-min, while she was there for not as long as other members, she would always say 이거 몰카 아니야? This is a hidden camera prank, right? Because it would be so unscripted
Oh, that's so
that
true.
she would be like, she would question if this is actually real.
Because it's just doesn't make sense, realistically speaking. You're like, if this
Exactly.
was scripted, this would have never come to be.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
And also, she would often say, 나는 여배우야, because I'm a female actress. Because a lot of the guys, cast members, grew so close so quickly.
Right.
They treated
forget.
her, yeah, they forget. And they forget that she's actually a famous female actress. So they kind of like 막해, they just do whatever they want to her, like tease her a lot. And she always kind of has to remind them that, hey, I'm a famous female actress as well.
So please show me some respect, at least.
Exactly.
But that's all just for the sake of fun, wasn't it?
It is.
All right, guys. Today we dive deep into the show Running Man. Again, last week was Infinite Charge, my favorite, and this week was John's favorite.
Right.
That was Running Man. Thank you for the in-depth research, man. It's as if I saw a whole recap of their legendary decade of, history.
Exactly. And we have so much more as well. And it's just something that I loved growing up. So it's literally just my childhood. So yeah, it was just amazing to do.
Definitely looking forward to the upcoming episode. Maybe I'm going to go and watch some highlight videos because
Ooh,
there are
you have
so many
to.
nowadays.
Yes.
And if you haven't, guys, if you haven't been keeping up with Running Man, go ahead and do so because it's a super fun show, isn't it? Sounds good. This brings us to the very end of the archive today. Again, a big thank you to everyone who tuned in. What do we have coming up tomorrow, John?
So we have Anonymous coming up. So please send in your submissions, your worries, your stories, any thoughts you have. It makes my life easier. So please, guys, send it because we do have some spots available as well.
Right, and it's a cumulative one, so as long as it keeps coming in, we'll be able to deal with your concerns. So please send them in right now. I'm going to let you off with the final song coming from Catch the Young, Dream It. It is. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It has been Yohan and
AJohn.
checking out. Bye-bye.